Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to my channel update for March 2018. There's going to be a real quick one. I recently had, an update with my subscribers. First of all, I want to thank everybody who is subscribed, who has been subscribed for a long time, and new subscribers, old subscribers. Without you, I would have no reason to continue making these videos. I appreciate each and every one of you. For the new people, welcome. I do role-playing game coverage. I do Let's Plays of computer role-playing games. I do live plays of tabletop games. Well, not live plays. I do play sessions of tabletop games. I do reviews of independent role-playing games and small press and indie tabletop games. And I do other commentaries. Some of you have been coming on and viewing my older tabletops and tavern stuff and my RPG Storytime stuff. I've got more of those coming. It's just been really, really rough getting anything scheduled lately. Now, some of you may have noticed I've got another part of my D&D retrospective already in the queue. It should be up. It's already up. It's up for my patrons for early access. You guys should be seeing it probably after this one, because I'm going to fast track the channel update because it is already near the end of March. I've got more reviews planned for next month. I will be trying to get some more video game reviews out. I'm hoping. There's a number of reasons that I didn't do it this last month, and most of them just have to do with the fact that I dropped the ball. I did have time a couple times, but I ended up doing other things prepping for the future. So hey, we'll try and get them out this month, and hopefully I will remain at least a little bit entertaining. In terms of tabletops and taverns, I said it was going to be returning this month. I got a little sidetracked on that, and here's what I got sidetracked with. I had intended to go ahead and make like an adventure and show the tabletops and taverns, basically give an example of how to make an adventure for D&D 5th edition, or really any version of Dungeons & Dragons, really, because there's a lot of interaction there. A couple of them have a couple of the different editions of D&D have quirks, to be sure. But adventure design as a whole shares a lot of commonalities, no matter what the system. And the problem is that, well, it's not really a problem. I started doing my research, and I started throwing ideas for adventures together, and I got sidetracked from that easy adventure. I will do the how to design an easy adventure series, but I ended up just sketching out seriously two severe ideas. The first one is basically a campaign set in kind of an Egyptian world. I may go ahead and work on that some more. I got kind of inspired by Gary Gygax's Necropolis for 3rd edition. And I've been looking through some of the older modules like Pharaoh, Lost City. There's some really, really good ones out there. And I got to thinking, you know what? You could make an entire campaign out of these, but instead of making an entire campaign out of existing modules, which can be done, I was thinking maybe I'll take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and mix it into a campaign. Did some background work on it. I may be doing that anyway. Probably not going to be making a video on it, but whenever I do finish it, I will make it available for my patrons and for my general viewers. I'm not sure where I'm going with that, though. That's still a long way away, because I realized very quickly, I got about a week into it before I realized this is a major undertaking. I'm going to set this aside, work on it as I can, and then I'll get it out. So then I went back to looking to making an adventure for the videos, and I got distracted again because I started looking at Mega Dungeons. Now, I've done a video on Mega Dungeon before. I am currently running sort of a Mega Dungeon for my patron game. I do a patron game on Mondays now. We moved it to Mondays. It used to be on Wednesdays. We moved it to Mondays. But basically, I designed it as a Mega Dungeon, but I really design it as a Mega Dungeon. I don't know how to say. It is technically a Mega Dungeon, but really it's more like a series of dungeons that are connected rather than a true Mega Dungeon design. And the more and more that I'm learning about optimal, and not even optimal, but interesting Mega Dungeon design elements, the more I'm realizing that I'm going to continue going ahead with it because it's really fun, but I could probably do a lot better. So I'm going to do a little bit more research and basically maybe do a series on designing a Mega Dungeon. And I keep on throwing these series ideas out here. I'm not promising it, but I'm thinking maybe if, I'm going to do a little bit more research and maybe do a series on the Mega Dungeon. So I will get back to doing Tabletops and Taverns, my 5th edition, designing a 5th edition adventure and running a 5th edition adventure. And that should make up a block. I should be getting to it fairly soon as I stop getting distracted by these side tracks. Another thing that had distracted me, but not really, was I'm lining up tabletop games to review. I've been promising for a long time that I'm going to go ahead and review Tunnels and Trolls. I've got that on the docket pretty soon. It's not going to be in my usual shelf of many things. I do have some more shelf of many things coming down the pipeline. You'll see one of them very soon. And I mentioned it in my other one. It's basically an indie game I was given to review. And I actually liked it. I have some feedback, and some people may say I criticized it a little bit too much when they see the video. But I actually liked it. But if you don't point out a glaring issue, then how is anybody going to get better? I liked it overall. I still recommend it overall. And you get to see it when the shelf of many things come out. The other thing that I was looking at was actually a game that's been around for some time, and I kept meaning to get into it. But only recently I went ahead and pulled the trigger, and that's Castles and Crusades. And I'm going to do a proper review on this. But one of the reasons I took a look at this is because I was starting to do the Mega Dungeon idea, and I actually saw, because I follow a bunch of old school blogs and a bunch of old school Facebook groups and such, and I saw that some people were curious as to whether there were any, there's 5th edition games just all over the place, right? You can see 5th edition games on Twitch, you can see them on YouTube, you can see a bunch of them. And you can see older edition stuff, but there's not nearly as many. So I saw him asking, hey, is there any 1st edition stuff out there? Hey, is there any Beckme stuff out there? And this wasn't just one person. There's like 4 or 5 people looking to see like some live play old school style, older edition style stuff on YouTube, on Twitch. And they are out there. They're a little bit rarer. So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, maybe I should go ahead and I've been meaning to run more games. I've been meaning to do a lot of things, but maybe I should go ahead and try to do some things for bring some old school up there. I love 5th edition, but at the same time, it's like everybody wants to run 5th edition. I was thinking, let me go ahead and look at some of my old school stuff. Now, I've got some retro clone stuff. I've got some retro clone stuff that I'm very, very fond of. But I was thinking, I'll do a basic old school thing. So I took out AD&D 1st edition. And I got a confession. I've run AD&D 1st edition, but I am not nearly as comfortable with it as I am with, say, 2nd edition or Beckme. So I started flipping through that, and I was like, oh man, I want to run 1st edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, some adventure in that so badly. But I hate to say it, but I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled on retro clones. Osric is the retro clone for the retro clone de facto for 1st edition. And it just organizes things so much better than the 1st edition books. I need to do a proper review on it. I don't have the hard copy on that. I've got the PDF because it's available freely. But I don't have the hard copy of that. I should get the hard copy on that because I was just spoiled on it. I gotta be frank. So I thought, well, I want to keep like an old school thing going. So then I started looking at Beckme, Rule Cyclopedia, make some use of that Rule Cyclopedia. And I started talking to some of my people that I would have in an old school adventure, and their interest in that was mixed. And a lot of it has to do with how simplified they perceive it to be. And so they were sitting there saying, why don't you run Swords and Wizardry? And I say, well, I would love to run Swords and Wizardry. why don't you run Adventure Conquer King system? I said, well, no, that was something that was never said. They said, what about you always talking about Adventure Conquer King system? I said, well, I love that, but I love it more for world building, quite frankly, and for running the economies and such. So I was thinking about what could I get these people, who are mostly a lot of modern role-playing gamers, to play. And so I basically picked up Castles and Crusades. I don't know if I'm going to run it. I do need to review it. Because if you're not familiar, Castles and Crusades is one of the first OSR type games. I don't know if they're actually officially part of the OSR movement. Trollord Games put this together really, really early in 3rd edition. In the 3rd edition 3.5, or I think it was like 2004, 2005 maybe, there and about. And what it does is it uses the D20 system style stuff, but it duplicates basically AD&D 1st edition. It's not a retro clone. It feels like you're playing. It feels like a good mix between like AD&D 1st edition and Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition. In that it takes the good parts of both. It takes the best parts of both. So I'm going to see if my group doesn't want to run Castles and Crusades. And if they do, then I may run that. Even though it's not truly like an old school edition, I believe it still has that old school feel. So I'll see what they're doing on that. This is not going to preempt my Tabletops and Taverns. It's not going to preempt any of my existing games. But it's another. It's one of those. Basically, when my Tuesday game doesn't meet, or when I get ahead of things, then I'll go ahead and start looking at that. Other things I'm going to be getting in the next few days. I have on order. GURPS 4th edition, which has been out for several years now. Several years. It's been out for a handful of years now. I'm going to be doing a review on that. I also ordered Dungeon Fantasy Role-Playing Game, which is 4th edition GURPS stripped down to just the Dungeon Fantasy stuff. And that one was a bit interesting to find. Because apparently it didn't sell as well as they thought it would, and the production costs were higher than they expected, I guess. Not 100% on that, don't quote me on that, but I believe that they said Steve Jackson Games is the one that puts it out. I believe they said something similar to that, and that they were probably not doing a reprint. And I've been keeping an eye out on it for Amazon for a long time. And I was sitting there watching it, and it was sitting there in like the $50 range on Amazon for a long time. And as soon as they marked it out of print or anything, it started selling it higher. And I don't know what it is, but I've noticed that with a lot of old role-playing game stuff, or a lot of stuff in general on Amazon. It's like you used to look at eBay prices, and they were just jacked up through the roof because you get all these scalpers on there. I think there's, and you're probably saying, "Oh, RPG Crawler, you're like the last horse to finish the race in here." But I think the scalper problem on Amazon is actually getting worse, because I'm seeing a lot of these things bought up, not like old role playing books. I've been doing reviews of retro books, and I picked up my Player's Handbook 1st edition for under $20 not long ago, not but more than a couple years ago. And now it's like you're seeing less and less of them carried by hobby shops. Like the decently priced ones are carried by hobby shops, but a lot of them you'll go in there and find out who's selling them, and they're listing nothing but other things that are either out of production or whatnot. So it's basically just shops going in and buying them and reselling them. So I saw them trying to resell the Dungeon Fantasy role-playing game, and they wanted like $89 for it. And I was like, well, I'm not going to pay $89. So I went ahead and ordered it directly from Warehouse 23. If you're thinking about getting the game, I'm not sure if it's any good or not. I haven't played it yet. Not a big fan of GURPS personally, but I've heard some people really like it. I will do my reviews as best I can on those. And I will see how it goes. But if you're thinking about getting Dungeon Fantasy role-playing game or whatever, get it from the Steve Jackson site. Get it from the Warehouse 23 site. But yeah, I would recommend picking it up from Steve Jackson Games. You're going to get, or if you can handle with just the PDF, because I don't even know I'm getting the box set, because the PDF has got all the material in it, except it's not got the tokens and such. And I got nobody. I got nobody near me who would play that. Who would play Dungeon Fantasy. I'm gonna do a full unboxing and review on it. Or I'll do an unboxing and initial impressions, and then I will do like a full on review of it. So I'll get 2 videos out of it. Yeah, oh, and I got one more thing coming, and that is, remember a while back, those of you who've been watching me for a while, a couple vlogs back, I asked about solo role-playing games, and I said that I knew about the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons randomizer in the back, and a few people suggested it anyway, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm aware it's there. There's actually good randomizers in a lot of these. But I went ahead and ordered For Against the Darkness. I'm going to review that. That one is a true solo, GM-less, solo, simplified role-playing game in which you play a party and you randomly generate the dungeon, you randomly generate encounters, and it's basically a tabletop roguelike. So I will be reviewing that one as well. So I've got my reviews as far as tabletop games for next month set up. And then the month after that, we'll start seeing some stuff come out from Wizard of the Coast. I think. I'm not sure, but I think. And we'll see what we're doing next month. As far as video game stuff, I got to catch up on it, man. When I say man, just generally, I don't mean to single out anybody or, you know, if you're not a man, don't worry about it. I just using it in the colloquials. I really just need to catch up. I need to catch up on it. I've got to get in. I think I'm closing in on the end of Divinity: Original Sin, Enhanced Edition. And I've got a stack of other stuff that people have asked me to cover. And I've got a stack of stuff that I need to review. I never did get my review of Kingdom Come out. I need to get that out. And there's several other ones I'd like to do reviews. And I would like to do some more retrospective stuff. Now that my D&D retrospective is coming into like the last two versions of it, or the last 2 segments of it, I'm going to start looking towards doing another series retrospective. Maybe on video games, maybe on Arena and Daggerfall and stuff like that. Maybe on general D&D computer games. We'll work something out. I'll figure it out. If you got any preferences for a series of computer games or role-playing games for me to just review the whole series, let me know. And my patrons will be seeing this before it's on general release. You guys let me know too what you'd like to see in terms of that kind of review. And I know a couple of my patrons are probably getting disappointed because I've been keeping up with stuff, but I've been only barely doing it, and it's unfortunate. What happened last month? I recovered a lot of stuff last month. I thought I lost everything, really early in last month. I thought I lost everything from my drive, and I got all that recovered. And then I ended up running family around to doctor's appointments again, even though I thought it was out. Again, but that's all taken care of. So, and I fucked my foot up. Oh my god, it's still healing too. I did it like 2 weeks ago, and it's only barely starting. It's only barely healed. Aside from that, Anyway, I'm looking for a better month next month. I got things planned. I got things I got to do. I've got a bunch of stuff queued up already, recorded and putting up for editing, and I'm doing pretty good. If you got any feedback, let me know. I'll call it here because I got some stuff to type up and edit and put up. This has been the RPG Crawler with my channel update for April or no, for March 2018. Oh my God, I'm losing it. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like. Comment if you've got any feedback, and this is the video to give me comments on if you've got feedback, because this is like the best place to give me your direct feedback on anything that I'm doing. So this is basically a compilation of all the stuff that's going on. And subscribe for more RPG content, both tabletop and computer. Until next time, take care and goodbye.